Hello, Jimmy here again, and the last time I did a review, I said it was up to the commenters to decide which game I should review next. To make a long story short, Double Dragon got first place, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out got second. So now time to get into Double Dragon. Double Dragon is a unique arcade beat-em-up which went on to put itself on all of the home consoles. I'm serious. It's a freaking mess. You got an Atari 2600, arcade, Sega Master System, Commodore 64, and television, ColecoVision, Apple home computers, Sega Genesis, Game Boy, Game Boy Advance, Sega Game Gear, Atari Jaguar, NES. What the frick? Well, with the mad experiments of putting it on home console like Atari 2600, still gives me nightmares. There were also good versions like Sega Master System, NES, and Sega Genesis. Which one is the best? Well, it's your opinion. But in my opinion, the NES version is the best. It has nice graphics, good music, and amazing animations. The game does have one flaw, however, which we'll get into later, but for now, let's talk about the story. Awesome, right? The opening cutscene put Mario to shame. Well, if you haven't guessed what that was about, a gang kidnaps Bimmy Lee's girlfriend, and you have to save her by defeating the gang and beating up the person behind the plot and the leader of the game. The first level isn't too hard. The level boss is in a Bobo, and by the way, make sure you use your punches a lot throughout the whole game. The second level is in some construction site. This place is famous for being able to throw people off the building, and to tell the boss to go screw itself. Third level, oh boy, this level is where the game gets incredibly hard. The first section is some forest area, so you know, the level 2 boss, well, they decided to multiply him by 4. What the heck? What kind of crap are they smoking? The forest section is really long and crappy, but once you get past it, the boss is 2 Abobos. Once you're in section 2, it starts off with rocks falling from the ceiling cave. Don't know what that's all about. But the worst freaking part about it is that the rocks take a lot of damage. Once you get past that conspiracy, you have to do tricky-dicky platforming. This is one thing that separates the NES version from the different ones. Not even in the arcade did Double Dragon have platforming. But you know why the NES version has platforming? Because NES loves platforms. Anyway, once you get past the platforming, you fight some dudes. By now, you should have Bimmy Lee's best attack, the elbow, and all you have to do is wait by the door and elbow the guys. Once they die, do not go right. It repeats the level. You can go through the door. Now, once you're here, the whole level has this weird yellow flash, which is supposed to be like lightning striking. But couldn't they have at least used the Atari sounds? You know, the noise? Back to the game. In this level, you have to take a huge freaking leap of faith. What the heck, man? Oh, and the rocks chase you too. Then the Hulk comes out, and once you screw him up, his identical twin comes and joins the party. Now, this next room reminds me of a boss rush in Mega Man games. So basically, you stand by a door, screw up some girls, and you jump down and get to the door. Okay, guys, we're finally at the last level, level 4. It starts out with Tetris blocks trying to kill you. And trust me, you can stand there all day. There is no pattern. You just have to run through and get lucky. I guarantee you will take at least one hit. Then you fight some guys with the demonic statue watching you. This place reminds me of hell. This part is a little easier because you can throw the guys off the ledge and into the pit. I love doing that. Also, I forgot to mention, yeah, there's items in the game. Like a baseball bat, a knife, dynamite, etc. But you only get these for a limited time, and your fists are better. But I can tell you one thing. Don't get hit by the knife. Section 2. Well, in this section, an infinite number of men come out and try to attack you, but you can climb the ladder. You're pretty much safe, but be careful on those platforms. Section 3. Almost all this level is a huge rush of enemies trying to kill you. The final boss is this machine gun dude. He's pretty hard. Once you defeat him, you get the girl back. Right? Well, it turns out the final boss is your brother Jimmy Lee. He was jealous that you got a girl, so he kidnapped her. Once you beat him, it's super hard to fight him, by the way. You win. There's also a second game mode, where it's one-on-one fighting, but you can only pick the same number of characters, and there's a selection of 6. Let me tell you how to control Benny. So you see those numbers down there? Yeah, those numbers to the left of your life bar, and you see a heart? Now once you hit people enough times, those numbers will eventually reach over 999, and you'll get another heart. What do hearts do, you ask? Well, they open up new moves for you to use at your heart's content. So this is why you should use punching more. Now to punch, you press A. Pretty standard, sounds like a good deal, unless every single time you try to combo with it, the enemy takes a hit in between it. I can never do a string of punches without getting hit in between. To kick, you press B. It's better to combo with than the punches, and once you have 2 hearts, you can finish your combo with an uppercut for punching and a roundhouse kick for kicking. For jumping, you hold A and B together. Sounds pretty crappy, but I'll go with it. They couldn't use anything else. Once you get 3 hearts, and you get a jump kick. The headbutt is performed by double tapping the D-pad. It's okay, but it's not rangy, so likely take damage. The grab is performed by kicking for maximum distance. Once you grab, you can throw or punch. The throw is performed by pressing A, and the punch is performed by pressing B. The pin attack is performed by pressing down on a D-pad when they're knocked down. Then press A to pummel. The elbow punch, Bimi's best attack, is performed by pressing A when the opponent is behind you. The spin kick is probably the worst move in the game. Whenever you try to use it, you get punched down 70% of the time. Before you use it, you have to stun them with either a punch or a kick. Then perform it by kicking in close range to an opponent. Graphics. The graphics aren't the best in this version of the game, but they're certainly good for the NES. I mean, look at the detail for the spin kick.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Sound and music. The music is just great, like the level 1 theme. And the Abobo theme. The hitting sounds sound like Atari, and they're crunchy and sound good. How it compares to the other versions? In my opinion, Double Dragon on the NES is the best version you can find. But there are a few things holding it back. No 2-player mode, the arcade version had 2-player mode, so did the Sega Master System, but the NES didn't. So this is why it's such a debate of which version is better, the NES version or the Sega version. But I didn't really like the graphics and sound in the Sega versions. Well, that's my review on Double Dragon. Overall, it's a good game. I really want to give it a 10 out of 10, but I can't, because as I think about it more and more, 2-player mode would have been great. I give this game 9 out of 10. Sorry guys, no 2-player mode.